All right, Coach. Tough loss in several ways last week. Down early, penalties included, but you guys fought back. Were able to hang in there. Some positives, against a tough ranked Augustana team. But how do you get the guys to regroup fast after a tough loss last week?
Yeah, well, I mean, we put a lot into it, so all the losses are tough when you lose, and all the wins are great when you win. So that's the nature of the beast. But that's a conference champion, defending conference champion. That's a top 20 team, and we played well in a lot of areas. What we didn't do well is, obviously we hurt ourselves really the first time all season with some self-inflicted wounds with the penalties. So we were penalized 8 times. We'd only been penalized 17 times all season going into that game. We were the least penalized team in the country heading into that game. Well, now we're not. And so that really stopped drives. We moved the ball offensively, had about 350 yards offense, and there's about 150 left on the field with the penalties taking them all off. And then so you lose drives, you lose possessions. And you credit Augustana. That's a really good defense, obviously, and they gave us some problems that way. Defensively, thought we played really well for 3 quarters. We just started slow. We gave up a fast touchdown early in three plays, and then we gave up another touchdown, and then all of a sudden we're looking at a deficit. But we battled back. There were some positives, like I said. I thought we took some steps forward in that game. Certainly, we had we had a lot of explosives offensively. I think we had 9 or 10 explosives in that game, the most we've had since the Valley City game. Some big plays down the field in the pass game as well. So it wasn't just running the ball. So again, there's some positives to take away. I mean, that's the conference champion. That's been the best team in this league. And, we stood toe-to-toe there for 4 quarters, So that hasn't been sent here in a long time, to play at that level. That competitively against that team. I think the combined scores of the previous 2 contests was like 100-6. So we're pretty close. We're right there, but we're not over that hump yet. We're still climbing the mountain.
Mm-hmm. And so speaking of climbing the mountain, moving ahead, I know it's kind of sounds weird saying this, but the longest road trip of the season coming up. 2 weeks being on the bus against some good teams. How do you keep the guys loose? How do they stay loose and be ready for more big opportunities to strike?
Well, yeah, we got to get on a bus and go to Bemidji, but that's actually not the longest. Bemidji is one of the shortest actually. So that's in our world. It's as close as we're going to get when you get on a bus here out of the Magic City. So we're excited to go play. It's another opportunity to play games. These opportunities are sacred, and there's less and less of them now down the stretch. I mean, we have 4 games left in this season, so Bemidji's a quality opponent. I mean, obviously they're a playoff team a year ago. They won a playoff game a year ago. They've done a tremendous job. Again, like I said, no one's going to feel sorry for us. Every week we're playing someone really good. This is the part of the schedule that everyone warned me about coming into the season, right? So here we are. But like I said, we're playing pretty good football. We're competitive. We're doing some good things. I think we're improving in a lot of areas, and we just have to keep the focus on ourselves, not so much who we're playing, but more how we're playing, and then the results will eventually take care of themselves.
And it looks like, compared to how you guys play on paper, it looks like, Bemidji, they can attack teams in a lot of different ways. They're a well-balanced team, getting some looks in the voting as well. Tell us, what do they pose to you guys on the gridiron this week?
Well, they're really talented. I mean, they do a nice job. I think their offensive line offensively does a nice job. Their quarterback distributes it, and they use his legs as well. So that's always a challenge. It's like, I think there's talent in every part of that offense. And then defensively, there's another set of problems. They're top 20 in the country in scoring defense. Let's just start there. I think they're 17th, something like that. They're giving up just under 15 points a game, 14.7 or 8. So, anytime a team is doing that, it's about as good as it gets, right? So, they're doing a great job. Coach has built a heck of a program there. I think he's been there 8 years now as a head coach, and I think a quarter of a century going back to being there as an assistant. So really they're a program that is to be admired in this conference. I don't think they have all the resources maybe some of the other ones do. They don't have the metro area right in their hip pocket right there, but they've built a foundational program there, and that's something we aspire to do here. Like I said, we're getting closer towards that, but we're not there yet.
And talking more about Bemidji, lastly here, Coach, a chance to win for them last week, but they were just got by Northern, in a heartbreaking loss. A few losses, rather, have gotten them pretty tough. It certainly feels like they're going to come out ready to play this weekend. How do you guys counter them and keep them at bay?
I'm really not worried about them. We don't worry about the opponents. Yeah, we look at the scouting reports and we know the strengths and weaknesses, and we're watching all the tape, obviously, but our focus needs to be on us. I mean, we need to not get penalized 7 or 8 times. That's what we need to do. We need to keep our poise. We need to have our eyes where they're supposed to be. We need to have our feet where they're supposed to be. We need to know what to do when the ball's snapped, and then we need to be able to execute. And that's whether we're playing Bemidji State or anybody left on our schedule or anyone else we see ever. That's what the focus is for us. Then you don't get distracted by. That's for you guys to talk about, Cole. All the stuff outside the lines. Our focus is to stay inside the lines, and that's will keep us where we need to be and keep us growing. If we get distracted by any of that other stuff, the bus, the food, the temperature, all that, it's out of our control. So let's focus on what we can control, and then let's play better football.
Yeah, Beavers focusing on them, building the dam. Thank you so much for your time again, Coach. Good luck this weekend.